Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac from Roby Electric and W.H. Hobbs Plumbing. Trent Haston is not with us this week. He is off on business, sharpening his mind to make us all better. But we've got Dave McGuire from Angie Roby General Contractors in the studio as our fill-in host. Dave always does a wonderful job. And our guest is Brian Young from the Dunstan Group. I've known Brian for quite a while. Know Scott Dunstan from their company. And Brian, you guys have done a lot. You're a branding guy, right? You're a branding guru. What does that even mean?
Yeah, so I mean, branding. I think there's a lot of aspects that come into branding. You know, our goal is pretty simple. You know, we're going to provide you a customized approach for all of your branded merchandise and apparel. You know, we want to be able to create a platform where we can not only put your logo onto a product, but really work with your marketing teams at the beginning of those stages and come up with something that's very creative, very unique to each individual industry that we work in. So our goal is to literally have a conversation at the beginning with anybody, whether it's an organization, a nonprofit, a manufacturing company, a professional sports team, and truly ask the questions on the front end to understand what their goals and objectives are. You know, one of the first questions we ask is, why are you even putting a logo on something? You know, we're not going to ask you, what is the price of that T-shirt? We want to know, why are you putting your brand on a T-shirt? And we want you to be able to get the best bang for your buck. So I feel that our customized approach to branding and merchandise creates more of a proactive marketing plan that really enables our clients and our community to achieve the best that they can.
Nah, man, Dave, he launched right into that, didn't he?
He has passion. I love it.
I do too. I mean, I think I've met somebody that might talk faster than I do. who's not from north of the Mason-Dixon.
Yeah, this is true. I do speak very fast, so I'll slow that down.
It's okay, man. I think it's great. Brian, we were kind of giving you a hard time before the show. One of the things that you do from a branding standpoint to brand your business, the Dunstan Group, is you guys have started a podcast called Brand Builders Podcast. And I'm gonna walk you down. This is called a setup, okay? If you're learning in the podcast,
appreciate that.
Where did that idea start?
You know what? It actually started in this room. Speaking
to you,
room.
Interesting.
Patrick and
Trent
speaking
was
with
here.
Trent.
Yeah, interesting.
Scott Dunstan got the opportunity to come in and graciously accepted to speak about Pink to Drink, which is a big nonprofit event that we host to raise money for the 24 Hours of Booty, or now the 24 Foundation. And in reality, we appreciated the opportunity to get our message out there, and we wanted to give that back to our clients and to our friends and really entrepreneurs in the area. So our goal is simple. We're not bringing you on to talk about brand and merchandise. We want to learn what makes you tick, what makes you different, what makes you better, what makes your brand successful, what's your outcome in the city. So we're bringing in people that, Heedy, we're bringing in the Carolina Panthers, we're bringing in, restaurant owners, and asking me, what does it take to open up a restaurant? And so I think a lot of the questions that we ask and the knowledge that we get on a 15-minute podcast is really good, but our whole goal is to really push their brand and let them just tell their story.
Okay, so Dave, you understand the setup here, and I'm gonna get you now, Brian. Obviously, we're all very good friends in here, so we're just giving them a hard time. Brian, of all those people that you've listed on your podcast, again, Brand Builders Podcast, you got the idea here on the At Home with Roby show. I just didn't hear that you had anybody from Roby on the podcast yet.
He's got Carolina Panthers. He doesn't need us.
I know. Is he dissing our brand, Dave?
Well, and that's very important. We wanted to make sure that we perfected our craft before we brought in the experts. So we're waiting a couple of months until we do it the right way, so we don't embarrass ourselves. But Angie Roby and all the family of Roby, we'd love to have each different segment on to talk, whether it's specifically into electrical, into your new division, into plumbing, commercial, all of those different divisions, and understand more about your brand, and then really push that to the people that we work with.
Yeah, well, that's great, Brian. And we can see that you guys are very proactive and invested in the community, and you're passionate about what you're doing, and you want to help others, right? So there's a lot of synergies in what you're saying with the Dunstan Group to our business. I think that's why it's such a good match, right?
Absolutely, and I think if anybody has met, Trent and really the entire family of Roby, I'm lucky enough. My wife is a realtor with Roby Realty, Amanda Young. So if you need a home, you can call her. But I think that if you get the opportunity to spend 1 hour with Roby, you're going to want to do business with all of them. And it's really their commitment to the community, their commitment to really caring, their commitment to loving others, treating everybody equal. I think it's an opportunity, and we've kind of I don't want to say we've piggybacked off of Roby, but I think the Dunstan Group is very similar. We care about our community. We care about what we do. We do not do something just to make money. We do it because we want to give back. We're an organization that really provides nonprofits the opportunity to get their brand out there. But I really think Roby and the Dunstan Group have very good parallel paths, and I think there's a lot of companies in Charlotte that if you do the work and you look for a local organization that can help you out, not only will you be happy, but you'll be supporting the local economy, and I think you'll create a relationship that will last a lifetime.
I agree with that, Brian. And in fact, I'm going to give you an example of how your company, the Dunstan Group, has performed in the way that you say. Earlier this week, we are hosting a golf tournament, Charlotte Succession Group that Scott and I are both in. Scott Dunstan and I are in. We are having our annual golf tournament on Monday, and we're all volunteers. And inevitably, something will fall through the cracks. And we lost our hole signs from last year for the hole sponsors. And so, yesterday afternoon, that was sort of the we got to get this done extremely quickly, and you all recommended a local company that could get it done, so we didn't have to pay the shipping or have someone air. I don't think we had time to get anything shipped. So what happened was we weren't able to get camera ready artwork in time for this printing company to have these signs by Friday. Scott said, "Hey man, just send them to me. I will take care of it. We'll figure it out." And I'm like, "Well, you need to, we need a bill." And he's like, "No, I'll figure it out. And we're not worried about that part. Just send it to me." I assumed that Scott was going to pass that on to somebody else or give it to someone. This probably all went down around 5 o'clock. This was Wednesday night, and I got an email at 10:45 Wednesday night. And I know Scott had a big event that you and Scott Dunstan Group supported with David Goggins Thursday night. So from 5 o'clock to 7:30 or 8, maybe even 9, I know Scott was at that event. So he either went back to the office or went home and busted out this artwork for us and sent it to me at 10:40 last night so we could make sure we had these hole signs completed on Monday for our golf tournament. So
Cool.
That's the kind of passion that I know that you all portray for every client. Now, this is a nonprofit, but this golf tournament is to raise money for West Boulevard Ministries, who we've had Bart Noonan in the studio. He's been on the show. Wonderful things he's doing over there. And, of course, Junior Achievement Charlotte. So all this money that we're going to raise at this golf tournament is for these great charities. And the whole signs is, it's one of those things that maybe it's not a huge deal, but it really is if your company has supported that tournament, especially if you have clients with you and you go to the hole and you say, "Hey, look, we're part of this group. We're supporting this tournament." So that is a pretty key factor. And the fact that the owner of the company, Scott Dunstan, took the time, his own time, after a big event that we were all left pretty excited about,
Right.
Went back and went to work for our group. So that's the kind of company you guys are, and I think that's a similarity to what we are at Roby. And I know Dave could talk about that. I mean, we would do the same thing. If a client said, "Hey, this is a must-do. I've got to have this done tomorrow," we're putting all hands on decks. We're all going to be at the office. We'll order pizzas or whatever, and we'll get the job done.
Yeah, and I appreciate you saying that. I mean, I would say I'm very lucky to work for Scott Dunstan. If you haven't had the opportunity to meet him, to be honest, he's one of the best men I've met in my life, not only for what he stands up for, but for how he takes care of the people that work for him. Scott, the Dunstan Group, we're about to be celebrating our 10 years next year, which is a big accomplishment for us. But Scott's been in the industry for over 18 years, and really the love and the passion that he provides to each and every individual is the reason that we're in business. 90% of our business is referral-based. We do not go out and cold call or try to, attract new business per se. It's really about just working with people that we care about, working with people. Exactly. And that's really what separates Scott apart from a lot of people that I know.
And you.
And I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to replicate what Scott's built, and I really think in the future we have an opportunity to kind of follow the Roby success story, branch out into different divisions, whether that be a corporate and a community division, and make sure that we're being the best resource for you guys as well.
So Brian, I remember back in the day when you talked about when you talked about accessories and company accessories and things like that, branded company items. You get this big thick catalog, right? Flip through it. It's 1,000 pages long. It's real cheesy and stuff like that, right? That business has changed. It seems like tremendously. And then with what you guys do. What really sets you apart from the next guy in line where it could be, some of these companies are dime a dozen?
Brian, hold that thought. You're listening to At Home with Roby. Brian's going to come back, and he's going to tell us exactly how to do that with your business.